Today, something unusual is happening in the spiritual realm. A message is being released, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. If you are hearing this, you are not here by accident. You've been led here. You've been drawn here. Because God wants to reveal something to you, something you need for this season. And Archangel Michael, God's warrior, defender, and messenger, is standing beside you today, saying, "Open this. Listen carefully. Heaven is speaking." Before we go deeper, I want you to write in the comments, "Lord, I am ready for your message." Your comment is not just a sentence. It is a declaration of faith. A signal that you are ready to receive what heaven is about to reveal. Now, take a deep breath. Let your heart settle. Because these next 45 minutes might be the most important message you hear today. There are moments in life when everything suddenly feels different. Moments when the atmosphere around you changes. When something in your spirit feels unsettled. When you sense a pull towards something you can't fully describe. If you are listening to this right now, you are in that moment. This is not just another video you clicked on. This is not a coincidence. This is not just content. This is a calling. A divine calling. God does not call everyone at the same time. He calls individuals in perfect timing. He calls at the exact second your heart is ready. Your spirit is open. And your life is positioned for transformation. The very fact that you are listening right now is evidence that heaven has been watching you, guiding you, and preparing you for this next season. For weeks, months, maybe even years. You have felt something rising inside you. A quiet whisper that says, "You are meant for more. There is a purpose for your life. There is something bigger ahead." You may have pushed that feeling aside. You may have tried to ignore it. You may have thought it was your imagination. But today, God brings confirmation. What you felt was not imagination. It was my voice. And now, heaven wants you to pay attention. You have been sensing signs. Not random, meaningless coincidences. But spiritual signals designed to wake your spirit up. Think about it. Have you recently felt spiritually sensitive? Experienced sudden dreams or visions? Woken up with thoughts that felt deeper than usual? Felt a shift in your emotions without explanation? Noticed patterns repeating themselves? Had a battle inside your mind or heart that you couldn't explain? Felt watched over, guided, or protected? If your answer is yes to even one of these, then your spirit has already stepped into a new dimension. Even before your mind understood it. This is what happens when God begins to move in your life. Before He reveals the message. Before He gives the instruction. Before He opens the door. He stirs your spirit. He makes you feel that something is changing. He makes you sense that something is coming. He prepares you without words. And today, that preparation becomes revelation. Archangel Michael, God's warrior and defender, is standing beside you and declaring, "You have been chosen to hear this message today. There is a purpose for this moment. This is not just another day. This is a spiritual appointment." There are seasons when heaven calls out to you directly. Not through people. Not through signs. But through a message that reaches your heart. At the exact moment you needed it. And this is one of those moments. Right now, I want you to pause for a second. And acknowledge this moment consciously. Breathe deeply. Feel your heart slow down. Feel your spirit pay attention. And as you feel that shift, I want you to type in the comments, "I am listening." Because when you comment, you're not just interacting with a video. You're responding to heaven. You are letting the spiritual realm know, "I am ready to receive. I am open. I am present. I am listening." God is saying to you today. You have asked for answers. You have searched for signs. You have cried for direction. And today, I speak. You may not realize this. But you have been under spiritual observation. Heaven has been watching your steps. Your struggles. Your pain. Your patience. Your strength. When you wanted to give up but kept going. Heaven noticed. When you stayed kind despite being hurt. Heaven noticed. When you cried silently but remained faithful. Heaven noticed. When you prayed without seeing results. Heaven noticed. When you chose love over revenge. Heaven noticed. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of perseverance has built a spiritual foundation around your life. And now, God is ready to reveal what comes next. Archangel Michael whispers into your spirit. Prepare yourself. What comes after this message will shift your spiritual journey. You are entering a turning point. A moment where the direction of your life will begin to align with divine order. You're not just listening. You're transitioning. Transitioning from confusion to clarity. From delay to movement. From spiritual numbness to awareness. From stagnation to purpose. God is calling you deeper. He is calling you higher. He is calling you forward. This is the beginning of revelation. This is the moment your spiritual eyes start to open. This is the moment your journey accelerates. This is the moment heaven says, pay attention. I am revealing. If you feel this pull in your heart, if you sense that this message is speaking directly to you, then comment again. Lord, I am ready. Because readiness opens doors. Readiness unlocks understanding. Readiness invites revelation. And today, revelation is coming to you. This is not the beginning of the message. This is the beginning of your shift. There comes a time in every spiritual journey when you begin to question things that never used to bother you. Why does life feel harder lately? Why do blessings come close, then slip away? Why do some prayers take longer to be answered? Why do you keep fighting battles you never started? Why does it feel like something is resisting you? Holding you back? Pushing against your progress? These questions are not signs of weakness. They are the signs of awakening. Because only awakened people realize when something is wrong in the spiritual realm. And today, God is pulling back the veil and revealing what has been happening behind the scenes. God says, you have been in spiritual warfare. Even when you didn't recognize it. Warfare is not always loud. It doesn't always come through disaster or chaos. Sometimes it is silent. Subtle. Invisible. The enemy rarely attacks you in obvious ways. But he always attacks what threatens him. You. Your purpose threatens him. Your potential threatens him. Your prayers threaten him. Your future threatens him. Your destiny threatens him. Your spiritual authority threatens him. And that is why you have felt the pressure. The resistance. The unexplained heaviness. The cycles that keep repeating. The doors that almost open but never fully unlock. You thought it was just life slowing you down. You thought maybe it was timing. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe you weren't good enough. But God reveals today. It wasn't a lack of worth. It wasn't a lack of readiness. It wasn't a lack of ability. It was a spiritual block. A block designed to drain you. Distract you. Discourage you. And disconnect you from your blessings. Let's go deeper. Have you ever noticed that right when you get close to a breakthrough, something goes wrong? Someone disappoints you. Unexpected problems arise. Your energy drops. Your peace gets disturbed. Your motivation disappears. That is not coincidence. That is not bad luck. That is not randomness. That is interference. The enemy cannot stop God's plan for your life. But he will try to delay it. Distract you from it. Make you question it. Make you doubt yourself. Make you tired enough to give up just before the blessing appears. This is spiritual strategy. And today, God is revealing the strategy. So you can overcome it. Archangel Michael is speaking into this moment and declaring, you have been attacked not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Let that sink in. You are not under attack because there is something wrong with you. You are under attack because there is something right with you. Your calling is real. Your anointing is real. Your purpose is powerful. Your future is impactful. And the enemy saw it. Even before you did. He saw your influence. He saw your strength. He saw your ability to change lives. He saw your potential to bring healing, light, faith, and hope. So he tried to stop you early. Before you realized who you are. Before you stepped into your power. Before you walked into your divine assignment. But he failed. How do we know he failed? Because you're still here. You're still searching. You're still praying. You're still listening. You're still growing. You're still fighting. Your very presence in this moment is proof that the enemy didn't win. In fact, the battle intensified. Because you are getting closer to the breakthrough. The closer you get, the stronger the resistance. The enemy does not fight what does not threaten him. He fights what carries destiny, purpose, and potential. And that is you. You may not always feel strong. But heaven sees your strength. You may not always feel powerful. But the spiritual realm recognizes your authority. You may not always feel important. But God has placed a divine mark upon your life. But let's talk about the block. The block has shown itself in different ways. Cycles that keep repeating. You start something, and it stops. You get momentum, and then it disappears. You begin healing, then an old wound reopens. You take one step forward, and something pulls you back. This cycle is not natural. It is spiritual. Sudden spiritual coldness. Moments when you want to pray, but feel empty. Moments when you want to read scripture, but feel distracted. Moments when your spiritual fire feels dim. This is not you losing interest. This is the enemy trying to disconnect you from your source of strength. Strange loss of motivation. You wake up determined, but by midday you feel drained. You want to move forward, but something inside you feels stuck. This is spiritual fatigue. A sign that something has been fighting your progress. Emotional warfare. Anxiety without cause. Sadness without reason. Fear without explanation. These feelings are not random. They are spiritual pressure points. Delayed blessings. You pray, and wait. Work hard, and wait. Believe, and wait. Doors open slightly. But don't swing wide. This is interference at the last moment. Because the enemy knows you are close. But here is the revelation. The block that stood in front of you is breaking today. Not tomorrow. Not eventually. Not someday. Today. God says, what has resisted you will release you. What has slowed you will accelerate you. What has confused you will become clear. And Archangel Michael declares with authority. The forces that have opposed you have lost their power over you. Feel this deeply. Right now, in the spiritual realm. Chains are loosening. Walls are cracking. Barriers are weakening. Darkness is retreating. Plots are collapsing. Resistance is breaking. Your spirit is rising. Your mind is awakening. Your path is clearing. You are stepping into a new atmosphere. One where you are no longer blocked. No longer delayed. No longer restrained. But there is one more truth you need to hear. The enemy only blocks what is valuable. You were blocked. Because you carry something precious. Something important. Something divine. Your breakthrough has weight. Your blessing has power. Your future has spiritual importance. Your presence disrupts darkness. And the enemy knew it. But God's power is greater than any block. Any barrier. Any delay. Any spiritual opposition. That is why He brought you to this message today. To reveal the truth. And release the breakthrough. If you feel this in your heart. If you know this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Write in the comments. The block is breaking. Write it with authority. Write it with faith. Write it with expectation. Because your declaration activates your deliverance. This is the season you step out of spiritual captivity. And into spiritual clarity. The mystery is revealed. The truth is uncovered. Your eyes are opening. Your spirit is awakening. And the block is breaking. Pay attention. Something is happening. Right now is one of those moments. This is not imagination. This is not a feeling. This is not your mind creating stories. This is the presence of heaven drawing near, and Archangel Michael, God's appointed defender and commander of heavenly armies, is releasing a message meant specifically for you. Not for everyone. Not for the world in general. Not for random listeners. For you. For the one who has been fighting silently. For the one who has been carrying invisible burdens. For the one who has been surviving battles no one sees. For the one who has been praying for clarity, strength, and direction. For the one whose spirit is tired, but whose heart refuses to give up. Heaven sees you. Heaven has heard you. And today, heaven speaks to you. A warrior of light stands beside you. I want you to take a moment. Close your eyes if you can. And picture this scene, not as fantasy, but as spiritual reality. A massive presence of light, radiant, powerful, unshaken, steps into your atmosphere. Not a gentle figure. Not a soft image. But a warrior. A commander. A defender. Archangel Michael. His armor gleams like burning gold. His wings stretch with authority and strength. His sword, a blazing bolt of divine fire, cuts through the darkness surrounding you. He is not distant. He is not silent. He is not passive. He is right beside you. Because God sent him. Because heaven is invested in your story. Because your life is not meant to remain in struggle or confusion. You may feel alone, but you have never been unprotected. You may feel overwhelmed, but you have never been abandoned. You may feel surrounded by pressure, but you have never been defenseless. And Michael speaks. You have been surrounded by darkness, but the light of God surrounds you even more. The spiritual truth you have not been seeing. Archangel Michael now reveals what has been hidden. The battle around you has not been physical. It has been spiritual. Your exhaustion has spiritual meaning. Your anxiety has spiritual roots. Your confusion has spiritual influence. Your delays have spiritual forces behind them. Your inner turmoil is not weakness, it is warfare. But here is the truth the enemy did not want you to know. You were never outmatched. You were never unprotected. You were never fighting alone. Heaven has been defending you in moments you didn't even realize. Every time you felt suddenly safe, every time a disaster barely missed you, every time a toxic relationship fell away, every time your spirit sensed, "Don't go there," every time an attack backfired. That was Michael. That was the angels assigned to you. That was divine intervention shielding you. You have not survived this far by chance. You survived because heaven was standing on your side. Michael says, the attack against you was not random. Now listen to this, because it is one of the deepest revelations of this message. Michael says, you were targeted because you carry purpose. You were attacked because what you carry threatens darkness. You may not feel powerful. You may not feel strong. You may not feel chosen. But darkness saw your destiny long before you saw it yourself. The enemy recognized your potential before you even understood it. He saw your ability to bring healing, your capacity to inspire others, your divine assignment, the people you are meant to help, the blessings that were prepared for you, the spiritual authority inside you, the future God planned for you. He saw what you would become if you ever realized who you truly are. And so, the attacks began. The confusion began. The delays began. The emotional battles began. The spiritual pressure increased. Not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to darkness. Archangel Michael says, the enemy fought you because you carry something heaven treasures. Your calling. Your purpose. Your breakthrough. Your destiny. Your future. Your impact. All of these threaten darkness. That is why the warfare felt personal. Because it was personal. Your life carries weight. Your presence carries light. Your spirit carries authority. Your voice carries power. And darkness wanted to silence you before you discovered that truth. But listen carefully. It failed. Completely. Entirely. Irreversibly. Because if the enemy had succeeded, you wouldn't be here listening right now. The fact that you are here, seeking God, listening to this message, still searching for truth, still fighting, still believing, means the enemy lost the battle. Michael's message, fear stops today. Now the message becomes even clearer. Archangel Michael says, fear stops today. Fear has been the weapon used against you the longest. Fear of failure. Fear of loss. Fear of not being enough. Fear of the unknown. Fear of repeating the past. Fear of judgment. Fear of disappointment. Fear of stepping into your calling. Fear has chained your spirit. Fear has blocked your progress. Fear has silenced your voice. Fear has kept you small in a world God designed for you to rise. But no more. Michael declares, your fear is broken. Your spirit is rising. Your courage is awakening. Your strength is returning. Heaven is strengthening you, rebuilding you, restoring you, and rewiring your spirit for victory. This is not motivational talk. This is spiritual truth. Fear loses its grip when divine authority steps in. And today, that authority stands beside you. Write this in the comments right now. Fear stops today. Your declaration activates spiritual alignment. Michael's message, confusion stops today. Confusion has been another weapon against you. One day you feel clear, the next day you feel lost. One moment you are motivated, the next you feel exhausted. One day you feel spiritually close to God, the next you feel disconnected. This confusion was not mental. It was spiritual fog. A fog meant to blur your vision, hide your purpose, and delay your progress. But Archangel Michael announces, confusion stops today. Your clarity returns. Your direction strengthens. Your spirit awakens. From this moment forward, your intuition will sharpen. Your discernment will increase. Your spiritual awareness will heighten. Your understanding will expand. Where you once felt lost, you will now feel guided. Where you once felt unsure, you will now feel certain. Write in the comments. Clarity is returning to me. Michael's message, delay stops today. The next revelation is powerful. Delay stops today. Do you know why you've experienced so many delays? Because the enemy feared your acceleration. Some blessings were held up. Some breakthroughs were slowed. Some opportunities were postponed. Some answers seemed stuck. But the delays had an expiration date. And that date is today. Michael speaks. What was delayed will be released. What was stuck will move. What was withheld will flow. What was blocked will break open. Heaven is releasing what has been held back. You are stepping into divine timing, a season where things begin to align quickly, naturally, supernaturally, and effortlessly. Write this declaration. My delay is ending. The reassurance you needed to hear. Maybe you've been feeling tired. Maybe you've been overwhelmed. Maybe you've doubted yourself. Maybe you've wondered. Does God see me? Does He care? Is heaven even aware of what I'm going through? Hear this clearly. Yes. He sees. He knows. He cares. He has heard every word you couldn't even speak. You have not been invisible to God. You have not been overlooked. You have not been forgotten. You are protected so deeply that even the dangers you never saw were blocked before they reached you. You have been carried in seasons where you thought you were walking alone. You have been shielded in battles you didn't even know were happening. And God sent Archangel Michael to remind you. You are divinely protected. Your life is under heaven's covering. If you feel this in your spirit, write in the comments. I receive divine protection. The shift that begins now. Michael's message is not just comforting, it is activating. Heaven is not only speaking to you, heaven is shifting things around you. Right now, in the unseen realm. Chains are breaking. Walls are falling. Enemies are fleeing. Fear is dissolving. Confusion is clearing. Delay is ending. Destiny is opening. Light is increasing. Strength is returning. Peace is settling. You are stepping into a new spiritual chapter. A chapter where you move with confidence. You pray with authority. You speak with boldness. You walk with purpose. You trust with certainty. You grow with clarity. You rise with spiritual fire. This is not just a message. This is a moment of awakening. A moment heaven designed for you. A moment Michael was sent to deliver. A moment that marks the beginning of a new season of your life. Your life is shifting. Your spirit is rising. Your future is unfolding. Your path is clearing. And your angels are standing beside you. If you're ready for the next chapter, type in the comments. I am ready for my shift. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when the veil between the seen and unseen grows thin, when daily life begins to carry a different weight, a deeper meaning, a sense that something beyond the physical is trying to get your attention. Many people feel this but dismiss it. They experience the shift but explain it away. They sense the warning, the whisper, the nudge, but they silence it with busyness, distractions, or fear. But today, Archangel Michael reveals that this sign, the one you have been ignoring, is not just a feeling. It is a divine announcement. A spiritual alert. A heavenly message that has been echoing around you, waiting for you to pause long enough to hear it. This part of the message is where most people suddenly realize the truth, they were not imagining it. Because when heaven wants to warn you, protect you, shift you, or elevate you, the signs will intensify. And today we are going to uncover what that sign is, why it has been happening, and what it means specifically for you. Take a deep breath and center yourself. This is where the message turns from general to personal. Archangel Michael says that your spirit has already recognized this sign, even if your mind has not yet processed it. You have felt it physically, emotionally, or spiritually. It came in moments when something told you to pause. To rethink. To walk away. To listen. To prepare. To detach. To be still. For some, the sign appeared as unusual restlessness, as if your spirit was pacing inside you, aware that change was around the corner. Not the kind of anxiety that comes from fear, but the kind that comes from spiritual anticipation, the sense that something is shifting behind the scenes. For others, the sign came through unexpected delays. Plans falling apart for no logical reason. Doors not opening even though you did everything right. People withdrawing. Paths closing. Opportunities pausing. And in the moment, it felt like rejection. It felt like stagnation. It felt like disappointment. But Archangel Michael says, that delay was your protection. The slow movement was actually a divine shield. Something unseen was blocking danger from reaching you. But here is the part many people miss: you were not supposed to fight that delay. You were supposed to observe it. You were supposed to ask, what is heaven protecting me from? What is being rearranged on my behalf? What is being redirected so that I do not walk into something not meant for me? The sign has also appeared through sudden sensitivity. You may have noticed that you no longer tolerate certain people, environments, or conversations the way you used to. Things that once felt normal now feel draining. People whose presence you once ignored suddenly feel heavy. The atmosphere of certain places feels off, even when nothing appears to be wrong. This shift in spiritual sensitivity is not random. Archangel Michael reveals that your spirit is awakening, rising in discernment, outgrowing certain frequencies, and no longer aligning with anything that does not match your next season. When heaven elevates you, heaven also separates you, and that separation often comes disguised as discomfort. Another sign many of you have ignored is the repetition of certain numbers, words, phrases, or symbols. Not just because of coincidence, but because repetition is heaven's way of underlining what you refuse to notice. The same message shows up in your dreams. The same thought echoes in your spirit. The same impression returns no matter how many times you try to brush it aside. Archangel Michael says repetition is divine emphasis. But the greatest sign, the one that many people overlook, is the sudden urge to prepare. To get your life in order. To release what no longer serves you. To tidy up spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and sometimes even physically. You may not know why, but something inside you has been telling you to get ready. To grow disciplined. To become focused. To organize. To realign. This preparation is heaven's way of signaling that blessings, breakthroughs, and spiritual shifts are coming, but they cannot land on chaotic ground. They cannot be poured into an unready vessel. Your preparation is not based on what you see, it is based on what is coming. Archangel Michael wants you to know that this sign has been intensifying for a reason. Something significant is approaching your life. Something that will require clarity, strength, and discernment. Heaven does not warn without purpose. Heaven does not speak without reason. Every sign you have been sensing is part of a larger orchestration. Now pause for a moment and reflect. What has been the most persistent sign in your life these past few weeks? Is it restlessness? Delays? Sensitivity? Repetition? Preparation? Something else only you can identify? This message requires you to participate because recognition activates revelation. Understand this: the enemy uses noise, but heaven uses patterns. The enemy creates confusion, but heaven creates clarity, even if it comes through discomfort. And the sign you've been ignoring carries a message: you are being repositioned. You are being redirected from what could have harmed you. You are being guided toward what will bless you. You are being rerouted from environments that drain your purpose toward environments that ignite it. You are being pulled away from people who cannot walk with you and pushed toward people who will lift you higher. You may not like the process. You may not understand it. You may not feel ready for it. But heaven is not asking for your comfort, heaven is asking for your alignment. Archangel Michael says that ignoring the sign delays your breakthrough, but acknowledging it activates your next season. Many of you have been asking for clarity, for confirmation, for direction. This is it. This is the moment. This is the sign that confirms the signs. This is where your story shifts. Right now, heaven is preparing a path for you that you cannot see yet. But the signs are the footprints of that preparation. And if you follow them, you will step into exactly what has been promised. But the question is, will you ignore it again, or will you finally pay attention? Your answer determines what happens next. There are battles unfolding around you that you cannot see, conflicts taking place in realms your natural eyes were never designed to perceive. Most people underestimate the magnitude of spiritual warfare that surrounds their daily life. They assume that the frustration, the heaviness, the sudden emotional storms are purely psychological or circumstantial. They think the tension they feel is random. They think the obstacles arise by chance. But Archangel Michael reveals that what you are experiencing is not random at all. It is the sound of warfare in the spirit. It is the aftermath of a battle being fought on your behalf. You may have wondered why the last few months felt unusually heavy. Why your mind felt pulled in directions you didn't recognize. Why small inconveniences turned into relentless waves. Why people around you started shifting, revealing intentions you did not expect. Why you felt drained even when you had done nothing physically demanding. This is because heaven has been intercepting what was sent against you. And part 5 uncovers what Archangel Michael has been fighting off, and why the battle has intensified. There is a moment in every person's life when spiritual pressure increases because elevation is near. Ascension attracts resistance. Growth draws challenge. Breakthrough awakens opposition. When you move into a new level, old forces attempt to drag you back into old patterns. But Archangel Michael has been standing guard in front of you, not because you are weak but because your next season is too valuable to lose. Right now, there are 3 major things Archangel Michael is fighting for you. The first is clarity. The enemy's oldest tactic is confusion. Confusion creates hesitation. Hesitation slows progress. When you don't know what to do, you do nothing. And stagnation is one of the enemy's most effective traps. But over the past few weeks, something in you has been fighting for clarity, fighting to see, fighting to decide, fighting to understand. That is not just your effort. That is heavenly intervention. Archangel Michael has been cutting through spiritual fog that was meant to cloud your discernment. Every moment of sudden insight you've had, every moment when something in your spirit said, "This doesn't feel right," or "I need to shift," or "I need to let this go," those moments were the result of a battle already won for you. The second thing Archangel Michael is fighting is delay. Not all delays are divine. Some delays are engineered to waste your time, drain your energy, and steal your opportunities. There are delays designed to make you miss alignment. There are delays that were intended to make you give up prematurely. But every time something tried to slow you down in ways that did not make sense, Michael intervened. He has been pushing back forces that wanted to keep you stagnant. He has been clearing the path, even when the clearing felt like life breaking apart rather than life preparing you. You may not realize it, but many doors that closed were doors that were not meant to be open. Many opportunities that fell apart were traps disguised as blessings. Heaven sees what you cannot see. And Michael fights what you cannot fight, not because you are powerless, but because the battle was never meant to be yours. The third thing Archangel Michael is fighting for you is identity. Not personality. Not preferences. Identity. Your spiritual identity determines your authority, your purpose, your destiny. And this season, there has been a direct attack against how you see yourself. You have doubted your worth. You have questioned your strength. You have felt uncertain about your path. You have battled inner voices that try to convince you that you are not capable, not deserving, not enough. But that voice is not your own. That doubt is not your own. That heaviness is not your own. It is the echo of a battle. A battle in which Archangel Michael has been fighting to secure your identity from spiritual forces that want to keep you from stepping into your calling. Because if you forget who you are, you will never step into who you are meant to become. You have felt this battle inside you, the tension between giving up and pushing forward. The tug of war between fear and faith. The pressure that tells you to shrink back even though something deeper inside you knows that this is not the time to retreat. This internal conflict is not a sign that you are losing. It is a sign that heaven is fighting for you so you can move into the version of yourself that your destiny requires. There is also another dimension to this message, one that very few people talk about. Archangel Michael has not only been fighting battles around you. He has been fighting battles from you. Sometimes the greatest threat to your destiny is not what is attacking you externally, but what is happening internally. Old beliefs. Old habits. Old fears. Old wounds. Things you've carried for years that were never meant to follow you into your next season. This is why certain situations have been resurfacing. This is why certain people reappeared, not to rekindle connection, but to expose patterns you thought you left behind. Heaven was showing you what must be released before elevation can occur. Every time you felt triggered. Every time you felt tested. Every time you felt stretched. Every time you felt exposed. It was not punishment. It was purification. Archangel Michael has been fighting to separate you from the version of yourself that cannot sustain your future. The version that settles. The version that doubts. The version that fears. The version that tolerates less than what you deserve. The version that loses itself trying to please others. Spiritual warfare is not just angels versus darkness. Sometimes it is heaven versus your old self, pulling you out of habits that keep you small. There is something else Archangel Michael wants you to understand. The reason the battle intensified recently is because a spiritual expiration date has been reached. An old cycle is ending. A chapter of your life that overstayed its time has been spiritually closed. And anything that cannot enter your next season has been fighting to stay attached. This is why relationships suddenly shifted. This is why pressure suddenly increased. This is why situations that were once stable suddenly became unstable. The old cannot stay where the new is coming. And Michael has been enforcing that separation. Right now, he is clearing the final obstacles. The final attachments. The final interferences. The final spiritual assignments that were working against your progress. But here is the revelation: the battle he is fighting is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to free you. And today, you need to know that none of this warfare is a sign that you are losing. It is a sign that you are close to breakthrough. Pressure before purpose. Chaos before clarity. Warfare before elevation. Resistance before release. Your soul has been feeling the shaking because heaven has been restructuring your spiritual environment. Archangel Michael is declaring this over you: the battle is almost over. The interference is breaking. The heaviness is lifting. The confusion is clearing. The fog is dissolving. The warfare is losing power. And what comes after this battle is not just peace, it is acceleration. Everything that was delayed will begin to move. Everything that was stuck will break free. Everything that was twisted will straighten. Everything that felt distant will suddenly become possible. But the most important thing you must understand is this: the battle was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal what is coming next. Because heaven does not fight for what is small. Heaven does not send Michael for ordinary seasons. Heaven does not engage in battle for something insignificant. The warfare around you is the size of the blessing ahead of you. There comes a time in every person's life when heaven prepares a door that no force, no person, no circumstance, and no opposition can close. A door divinely designed, divinely timed, and divinely secured. A door that carries a purpose greater than your expectations and an outcome greater than your imagination. Part 6 is about that door. The one heaven has been preparing behind the scenes. The one Archangel Michael has been guarding. The one your spirit has sensed but your mind could not yet understand. This door is not symbolic. It is not poetic. It is spiritual reality, and it is about to manifest in your physical life. What makes this door different from every opportunity before it is not its size, its appearance, or its timing, but its origin. This door does not come from effort alone. It comes from alignment. It comes from spiritual orchestration. It comes from a season you have been unknowingly prepared for. You may feel unprepared. You may feel unqualified. You may feel uncertain. But heaven has been shaping you quietly, and this door will show the world what heaven has already seen in you. There are 3 truths about this door that you must understand. The first is this: the door is not something you chase. It is something that appears when the time is right. You cannot rush it, force it, or manipulate it. This door only responds to divine timing. And right now, the time is shifting in your favor. Signs of the shifting are already happening. Sudden clarity. Sudden restlessness. Sudden opportunities resurfacing. Sudden old cycles closing. Sudden freedom from things you thought you needed. These are not accidents. These are signals. They are the spiritual rumblings of something approaching, something forming, something unlocking. The second truth: this door is connected to purpose, not convenience. It will not just make your life easier, it will make your life aligned. This is not the door that gives you temporary relief. It is the door that initiates transformation. When heaven opens a door, the shift is not only external. It reorganizes your identity. It restores your confidence. It renews your strength. It calls out the version of you that has been buried under responsibilities, disappointments, fears, and expectations. This door is going to demand a stronger version of you, not because the door is difficult to walk through, but because what is on the other side requires someone fully awakened. Now the third truth: the door will not look like what you expect. Heaven rarely reveals breakthrough in familiar shapes. Many of the greatest shifts in your life come disguised. They arrive through unexpected conversations, unusual opportunities, sudden connections, or quiet moments that seem insignificant until they reshape everything. Most people miss divine doors because they expect them to look dramatic, glamorous, or obvious. But heaven works differently. Heaven hides greatness in simplicity. Your spirit must be open to the unexpected. Your mind must release the expectations of how, who, or where the breakthrough will come through. Because what is coming is not about familiarity. It is about destiny. Archangel Michael says the door being prepared for you carries 3 purposes: elevation, protection, redirection. Elevation, because you are being lifted into a new level of clarity, stability, influence, and opportunity. Your past decisions, sacrifices, and lessons have created a foundation strong enough to hold what heaven wants to build next. Protection, because this door will remove you from environments that drain you, relationships that limit you, and cycles that stunt your growth. It is a door that separates you from what no longer serves your journey. And redirection, because the path you once thought was yours has shifted. Heaven has seen what you cannot see, and this door will align you with a future you were not even aware was waiting for you. But before this door opens, heaven allows something important to happen: a final test, a final tension, a final moment of spiritual pressure. Not to discourage you, but to prepare you. This is why the last season felt so chaotic. This is why you felt stretched beyond your limits. This is why everything felt unstable. This is why you questioned your path. Because the closer the door gets, the more the old cycle tries to pull you back. Some of you felt exhausted. Some of you felt spiritually numb. Some of you felt disconnected. Some of you felt overlooked. But heaven saw it differently. Heaven saw someone who was being positioned. Someone who was being trained. Someone who was being purified. Someone who was being readied. Because this door is not for the version of you that was broken, anxious, insecure, or uncertain. It is for the version of you that survived. The version of you that kept going. The version of you that refused to give up even when giving up felt easier. Heaven does not open doors based on perfection. Heaven opens doors based on perseverance. And you persevered. There is also something specific Archangel Michael reveals: this door will appear suddenly. It will not unfold gradually. It will not announce itself in advance. It will not give you time to debate. It will be quick. Sharp. Clear. One moment your life will feel familiar, and the next moment, something will shift so dramatically that you will look back and say, that was the moment everything changed. The suddenness is intentional. Because if the door opened slowly, you would overthink it. If the door unfolded gently, you would doubt it. If the door hinted itself gradually, you might hesitate. So heaven will open it in a way that leaves no room for confusion. The door that is coming is a door you cannot sabotage, cannot question, cannot misinterpret. It will be undeniable. And when it opens, three things will happen quickly. You will know it is for you. You will feel peace even in uncertainty. You will have strength you didn't have before. This is heaven's signature. Now listen carefully, this door is not just about receiving something new. It's also about releasing something old. You cannot carry past burdens into future blessings. This is why certain things have been falling away. Heaven has been clearing space. Clearing distractions. Clearing people. Clearing environments. Clearing attachments. You are being emptied to be filled. You are being cleared to be elevated. You are being separated to be positioned. What is coming requires room, spiritual, emotional, mental, and even physical room. Archangel Michael says your time in the waiting season is ending. The delay has completed its purpose. The lesson has been learned. The cycle has been broken. The alignment has been achieved. The door is next. And when it opens, your life will shift into acceleration. Things that once took months will take days. Things that once took years will take weeks. Things that once felt impossible will become natural. Because when heaven opens a door, nothing can stop what follows. This is the pivot point, the place where your future begins to take shape, not just in the unseen realm but in your physical reality. You have been sensing, feeling, dreaming, and preparing, but now heaven is calling you to step into alignment with what is coming. Because what is approaching your life cannot be entered passively. To receive this shift, you must respond to it. To walk through the door that heaven is opening, there must be intentional action, not rushed, not emotional, not impulsive, but aligned. Your next moves matter. Your posture matters. Your decisions matter. Your focus matters. Not because heaven is testing you, but because heaven is positioning you. Archangel Michael reveals that your next season depends on three powerful shifts that must happen in the spirit before the physical changes arrive. The first shift is the shift in your identity. You cannot enter a new season carrying the identity of an old one. You cannot move into breakthrough wearing the mindset of survival. You cannot step into purpose clinging to old limitations. Heaven has tried to show you repeatedly that your identity has already changed, but you may have been slow to accept it. You are not who you used to be. You are not the wounded version of yourself. You are not the uncertain version. You are not the one who tolerates what drains you. You are not the one who avoids your calling out of fear. You are not the one who doubts your worth. Heaven has been calling out the stronger version of you. Not perfect, but aligned. Not without flaws, but with purpose. Not without questions, but with clarity. This identity shift is not optional, and it is the foundation of everything that comes next. You must begin to see yourself the way heaven sees you, because heaven will not shrink a blessing to fit a small identity. You must rise to meet your calling. The second shift is the shift in your environment. There are environments, physical, spiritual, emotional, that are not compatible with where you are going. Some environments limit your voice. Some drain your energy. Some shrink your potential. Some keep you repeating cycles that you were meant to outgrow. The presence of pressure in your life recently was not punishment. It was revelation. Heaven has been highlighting what no longer belongs in your life. The relationships that feel heavy. The habits that leave you empty. The routines that produce no fruit. The environments that suffocate your growth. The cycles that repeat because they have not been broken. You have been sensing these shifts already. You have felt the pull to step away quietly. You have felt the internal discomfort when you stay too long in places you've outgrown. You have felt the agitation in your spirit when you engage in things that no longer resonate with who you are becoming. This discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of transition. Archangel Michael says heaven will not elevate you into a new level while you are still tied to old energies. Something must be released. Something must be left behind. Something must be surrendered. Letting go is not loss. Letting go is alignment. The third shift is the shift in your obedience. You have reached a point where delayed obedience is no longer an option. Heaven is asking for movement now, not when you feel ready, not when you feel confident, but when you feel called. Too many people wait for clarity before acting, but heaven is saying, clarity will come once you move. The door will open once you approach it. The path will appear once you take the step. Your journey forward is not about knowing everything. It is about trusting what has been revealed. Archangel Michael says this clearly, your next season will not be activated through fear, logic, or comfort. It will be activated through obedience. There will come a moment, soon, when you will feel a strong prompting. A sudden inner knowing. A clear nudge. A divine instruction that may not fully make sense but will feel undeniably right. And in that moment, you must act. Because once you take that step, the atmosphere around your life will shift instantly. The delays will break. The momentum will return. The doors will unlock. The stagnant waters will begin to move again. This is the moment your life shifts, the moment heaven has been preparing you for. But there is also something else. Something deeper. Something urgent. Heaven needs you to separate the noise from the voice. The noise is everything that distracts you: fear, doubt, past wounds, opinions, pressure. The noise works to cloud your inner clarity so that you hesitate. The noise grows louder when breakthrough gets closer because distraction is cheaper than warfare. But the voice of guidance, direction, intuition, calling, has never left you. Even in your darkest moments, even in your confusion, even in your exhaustion, the voice has been there. It spoke through dreams. It whispered through intuition. It nudged you through discomfort. It strengthened you through adversity. It guided you through uncertainty. And now, heaven is asking you to listen again with fresh ears. The next part of your life requires discernment. Not fear-driven decisions, but spirit-led direction. And the only way to discern is to silence what competes with your peace. Archangel Michael reveals something very specific: a divine instruction is coming. Not a small one. Not a vague one. A clear one. This instruction will redirect your path. It will clarify your purpose. It will confirm everything you have been sensing. It will unlock the door that has been prepared for you. Some will receive this instruction through a dream. Some through a sudden realization. Some through an unexpected opportunity. Some through a moment of deep reflection. Some through a message that feels unusually precise. But the instruction will come, and when it does, your spirit will recognize it instantly. Heaven is aligning you with the moment that changes your life. This moment will not look dramatic, but its impact will be dramatic. It may look small, but it will shift everything. It may come quietly, but your soul will feel its weight. This moment will separate your past from your future. This moment will mark the end of delay. This moment will push you into your next chapter. This moment will confirm that heaven has been preparing you all along. Right now, your responsibility is simple yet profound. Stay attuned. Stay open. Stay aware. Stay aligned. Because your breakthrough is not approaching slowly. It is approaching suddenly. And heaven is preparing to place you exactly where you were always meant to be,